Hey guys, this is John. Welcome back to MTGCommander. I'll be talking about Intet the Dreamer. Chaos Group Hug. Alright, so we'll start off with utility lands. Always nice to have a Boseiju. Gets rid of all counters.
It's a good card to have.
Oh yeah, especially with the win con. Reliquary Tower. This deck draws a hell of a lot of cards, so Reliquary Tower always nice to have. Keep your hand. Vesuva. Vesuva is always nice to have also.
What do you normally copy with Vesuva?
That I'll go into later on.
Okay, cool.
Here, just fetching for lands.
Okay, what is Foothills, Misty Rainforest, Evolving Wilds, and Terramorphic Expanse?
These help with color. If I'm pretty much color screwed, I just fetch for whatever I need.
Okay.
Up here I have more color fixing. I have a Rootbound Crag and a nice reflecting pool, which I usually use Vesuva on.
Okay, that's a good combo.
Unless there's a Maze of Ith on the field, I'll copy the Maze of Ith. Here, just a manland.
Okay.
Just floating around.
Why the green one and not the blue or red one?
This deck focuses mostly on green, that's why.
Okay, that's legitimate.
Here we have the cycle lands, just simply for cycling.
Yeah, I see you run the 3 colors.
There's a lot of land in here, so if I don't need any, I'll just cycle it.
That's good.
If I need land, I'll use it. Here we have the shock lands, the 3 basic shock lands.
Yeah.
Nice to use a fetch land on.
Yeah.
Then we have the bounce lands.
These are also very good.
Yeah, very great for the color fixing. And finally we have more color fixing, and I have my nice filter lands.
Do you find you ever have a problem with mana in terms of color fixing and getting the appropriate colors you need?
No. This works fairly well.
Okay, cool.
Especially with the fetching.
Yeah.
Next, just round off with a lot of basic lands.
So your deck must focus more on green. You have a lot of forests here.
Yeah, there's a lot of green. Well, most of it is green.
Okay, cool.
For the most part. Alright, so I'm going to start off with just the random cards that I've shoved in this deck. So first off, we have a Bloodbraid Elf here. It can cascade into a lot of crazy things that this deck has to offer. So all around, it's pretty good.
It's a good card.
Yeah. Next here, I have a Fabricate. It lets me tutor for any artifact in the deck. Tutoring for an artifact is very important in this deck because very artifact dependent on the certain artifacts that I've put in.
What do you generally tutor for?
We'll get to that later.
Alrighty.
Next card I have is a Time Stop. Time Stop, if people are comboing off, just end their turn. You don't want that to happen.
That's a pretty good card.
Oh yeah. This card is a bit strange to have in the deck, but it's very fun. It's a bribery. So if I know the deck that I'm going up against has a really big creature, I'd like to pull it out every once in a while.
What do you normally look for when you search for through people's decks?
Something, maybe a Titan, perhaps a Darksteel Colossus, maybe a Blightsteel Colossus. Nice goodies like that, a Primeval Titan, Grave Titan, stuff that'll help me along the way.
Yeah, that's good.
Next is a very mean card. I have Traumatize. Traumatize, just very fun to have in the deck. Just creates mass chaos.
Yeah?
Yeah. In every green deck, we should have a Seedborn Muse. Just very great card. Untaps all your permanents on everyone's turn.
Yeah, it's very good in multiplayer.
Oh yeah.
And you can do some really crazy stuff with that.
Yeah, definitely. Next I have an Ant Queen. This is just a bit of defense for my defenseless deck. Just puts in a nice chump blocker. Or 2. Or infinite.
Or infinite, if you go infinite mana.
Yeah, you'll find out later how I go infinite. And the final card, Defense of the Heart, just brings out any 2 creatures from my deck. Usually I like to get a Consecrated Sphinx and maybe an Ant Queen. Maybe something else, just in case.
That's good. So I see that card played in a lot of decks.
Yeah, it's a very great green card.
Yeah.
All green decks. Alright, now we'll go through the recursion part of the deck. To start off, I have Elixir of Immortality. Tap it and tap 2 mana. I gain 5 life, and I just shuffle my graveyard into my library. Always a great thing. Good recursion card right there.
Yeah, he's very good. I see it in a lot of decks.
Next, I have almost the same thing. It's a primal command, primarily used to shuffle my graveyard in, and mostly I gain 7 life also.
Mm-hmm.
Next is the creature that does the exact same thing, Loaming Shaman. I usually target myself, shuffling my own graveyard into the library.
Have you ever targeted one of your opponents with that?
Probably would never do that in my life.
Alrighty.
I don't think I'd want to do that. Something else really great, All Sun's Dawn. I get to return 1 card from each color from my grave to my hand. Usually I have a card of each color in the grave, so I'll use that when that happens.
Okay, that's a good recursion spell that I haven't seen played very often.
Next I have a Regrowth. Just return a card from my graveyard to my hand. Great card, great classic green card. Should be in every green deck.
Definitely.
And now I have Eternal Witness, staple green. It's a regrowth on a creature, 2/1 for 3 with regrowth on it. Amazing card. That should also be in every green deck.
Definitely for sure.
Alright, so now I'll go through some of the Excel of this deck. All the Excel mostly is going to be green. Azusa, Lost But Seeking, very great Excel card. It lets me drop 2 extra lands every turn, so that's a total of 3 lands. Amazing.
Yeah.
Great Excel right there.
She's also a pretty interesting general.
Oh,
if you play with her.
She would be. I would think so. Next I have a Kodama's Reach. Allows me to put 1 land into play tapped and bring 1 to my hand, which then I can drop with Azusa.
Staple in almost every green deck I've seen.
Oh yeah, along with Cultivate.
Yeah.
Following that, I have Far Wanderings. Allows me to search for a basic land, put it into play. But if I have the Threshold, which I usually save it for, I get 3 lands and put those 3 into play tapped.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Next I have Mox Diamond. Great card. Mana fixing. Always good for the color fix. And I just drop any land and it should be good.
You ever concerned about dropping a land from your hand to play it?
No, never. I have a lot of recursion, so it should be fine.
Alrighty.
Next I have a Darksteel Ingot. It's just an indestructible mana producer. 3 mana, produces any color of my deck.
Mm-hmm.
Good card.
Yeah, it's not bad. I'm not a big fan of it myself.
Finally, I have Weatherseed Totem. Produces green mana, but it doubles as a major beater that also, when it dies, it comes back to my hand.
Yeah, this is definitely a card that can produce with green mana. I'm not a big fan of it, but if you run it in your deck, you run it in your deck.
Okay, on to the destruction part of the deck. Nullmade Sheperd. Just tap 4 creatures, destroy an artifact or enchantment. That's pretty good.
Do you generally have enough creatures out to do this?
No, but it works. It's just in there for extra added destruction.
Alright, cool.
Next I have Into the Core. It just exiles 2 artifacts. Very great card, especially against a combo. You respond and you exile their combo.
Yeah, it's always really good, especially against Disc Lock or something similar to that. There's a lot of those with Arkham's Axon that are out there.
And finally, to round it off, a Crow's Grip. Split second, destroy artifact or enchantment. You can't go wrong.
Yeah, that's always a great card because, and I've seen it a lot in green decks. It's very often used. The split second makes it incredible.
I would say it's a staple green card.